Hello there everybody, Dodgee Gamer here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new series. It's an old series, but it's new. It's an old game, but it's a new series. It's a retro game, that's all that matters. It's Broken Sword. We're playing Broken Sword, this game, the first one in the series, Shadow of the Templars. This came out in the 1990s, that golden age of point-and-click adventures. I remember playing this first of all on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation back in the day. This is the director's cut, which I saw a tweet for this a few months ago where the developers Revolution Software was celebrating the 10th anniversary of the director's cut, so the director's cut itself is now retro in a way. So let's just jump straight into it. We're going to be playing through today the prologue chapter that comes in the director's cut, or at least part of it, with Nico filling in a bit more of her story. So I have played on this before a few months ago, but we're going to go through it again
Paris,
today.
City of love, romance and dreams.
Oh yes.
So they say. I used to say it too.
What
But ever
happened?
since that day, the day of the murder,
Okay.
I've always associated my beloved Paris with death.
I celebrated my 21st birthday in Paris. Ooh, I got a tingle down the spine, hairs on the back of the neck there with the Revolution logo coming up, and the music, and the Broken Sword opening gargoyle. Fantastic. And here goes the crow. As the crow flies, opening credits. I love how they've got like that 90s cartoon feel with the visuals here, as well as it being a 90s game. Now, I won't skip this because, you know, I just worry then that we're going to miss the opening cutscene. So yeah, as I was saying just earlier there, we're going to be playing through this prologue chapter, that part of the extra material in the director's cut. So rather than starting with George in the cafe with the clown there, we're going to be starting
I was
earlier.
at home having a bath when my
The day
editor
before.
called.
Is that where Nico
Get
lives?
your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview.
How un-French of
Pierre
him
Carchon.
to say get your ass over here.
The Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why.
Okay, I
Anyhow,
won't.
this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
What
So
kind of
charming and
pass?
so variant.
right?
Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero,
See,
and
this
one of
should
the
have
most
been the it
infamous
haircut of the
adulterers in
90s
Europe.
instead of the
He
Rachel
and
cut.
his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate
Always
mountains, but unless
beware
you
the
have
crowns
them,
in
they
Broken
don't go.
Sword. Look at
Here
that.
I was,
Evil all over
the
his face,
palace
that
of the
clown.
media king and the
And
ice
face
queen.
paint as well.
I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Okay,
Madame, my
you
name
set
is
those
Nico.
events in motion.
I'm here to see
young
Monsieur
Nico.
Carchon.
Come
We're ready.
up, we're on the first floor.
So this will be a series. Obviously, that entire game playing through will take 7 or 8 hours,
Madame
but
Carchon, it's a
I'll be
pleasure
aiming
to
for
meet
20,
you.
30-minute episodes.
Yes, I'm sure.
So hopefully we'll
Ice
get a
cream
series
is
running
certainly living
for
up to
several
reputation.
weeks. Make sure you like the channel and subscribe so you get notified of when those new episodes come. Hit the bell
Will you be
and all of that
staying
good
for
stuff.
the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I
Okay.
certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty.
You
You're
dearie
too
me.
kind, Madame.
So basically, she's saying, my husband's going to lecture all over you. And Nico's like, oh, you called me pretty, thank you so much.
Beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre.
Grabs her
please.
by the shoulders, headbutt.
But I do not
headbutt.
flatter you idly.
Okay.
I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose.
I don't think it's a cat.
Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
It's an evil mime artist.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame.
Ooh, sick burn, Nico.
That was
sick
no
burn.
case. God, what? Monsieur Garçon!
Don't go near him. He obviously did it. But a nice dramatic beginning.
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better
nice
stay
convenient
here.
way to get Imelda into the
There
room
was
as
a
well.
man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
Now is not
No
the time
wonder
for
they called her the Ice
sarcasm.
Queen. She would have been top
You've been
of my
freshly
list of
widowed.
suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple
Time
of
to
murders
investigate.
just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Coulard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops?
I wonder what Donald Trump would
start my own
tweet about one of the
investigation.
most important men in Europe being murdered.
It was a
If you've
no-brainer.
got an idea, stick it in the comments below. Alright, so first things first. Okay, we've got the explanation of what to do, so how to play the point-and-click game and so on. Good, I think we can work it out. Let's investigate the body first. That's what they do
Mimes and
in
guns
detective
don't usually
shows.
go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer
too.
before and written about him. The costume killer, at least that's what I called him.
Because he kills costumes or he kills in costumes. Alright, the close-up of the body. This reminds me, I don't know if any of you
Some
10,
people hate
15 years
fetching
ago
corpses for clues.
played
Me, I
those
won't do it.
CSI
Reminds me of
games
an old
that were popular
boyfriend.
at one point on the PC and the Switch. Not the Switch, the Wii, I remember.
Carchon had been shot.
Very observant. Yeah, and then you had the close-ups of the body and you would try to look for the little DNA clues. I enjoyed those games.
In his pocket, I
They're
found
not
a
on
ticket
Steam,
stamped
otherwise I would
Bateau de la
get some to play.
Conciergerie.
Yeah.
Taking the ticket meant I'd tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now.
Okay, yes, Nico. You've set things in motion already. Nice tie, but nothing on the tie, nothing around there. Okay.
I
What have we got?
closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow.
The old close the eyes like that.
I opened his eyes. Best to
Okay.
leave the crime scene as I found
This is
it.
good for indecisive people. Should I close his eyes or should I leave them
I
open?
closed his eyes.
Let's close
It was
them.
the least I could do for the poor fellow.
Oh, okay, we got something here. What's that?
It was one
Hair
of my
clip.
hair clips. My favourite, in fact. It must have fallen
Isn't
when
that
I was
just one
knocked
of the
down.
metal? Like, surely someone. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I'm follically challenged, but surely a favourite hair clip or grip would be something a bit more decorative. But okay. Anyway, I think we've got everything from there for now. Let's have a look at. Okay, let's have a look at the bust.
A bust of Pierre Carchon, humble servant of La France.
It's a bust, as the police would say. Ka-ching. All right, let's have a look
A
behind
small
the curtain.
round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This
Yes.
was a professional job.
And someone with long arms as well to reach the handle. All right. Whoa,
The
be
killer
careful,
must
Nico.
have
Don't
used a
fall.
ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket, and took it with him.
I'm not so sure that's how ladders work, but well, he's a mime artist, so anything's possible. Okay, books. Anything on the
The
bookshelf?
bookcase was filled with obscure first editions.
But did it have a link to the first ever episode of the International Manager of Mystery? I think not.
Pierre Carchon again. His eyes seemed to follow me around the room.
But didn't we close his eyes? Maybe we should have left them open.
The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them.
Right, so what have we got here? Okay, we've got another room. Any way in?
The door was locked.
Okay, so probably looking for a key then. Alright, what
A
have we got here?
medieval pageant. Original, no doubt. The tapestry must have cost a fortune.
I need a tapestry like that to dampen the sound going into my microphone. Let's have a look at the
A
table.
Louis XIV table with an antique cloth. Imelda had taste. But hey, with a husband that rich, taste is easy.
If you say so. I know plenty of people who are rich but have got poor taste. Okay, I think...
reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful.
Disappeared like the mime artist. And what do we have here?
Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole.
But I think we have found something that will fit into a small hole, right? It's what they do in all the movies, the old hair clip to bust open a lock trick.
Aha! Nico,
Got it.
you are just so damn good at this stuff.
Nice green screen material in there as well.
Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived.
Oh,
And
right.
hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming.
Well, that's fine then. That's all fine then. If someone's been rude to you, carte blanche on what you're going to do to them. Is that key? Didn't look like a door key, but we can still give it a try. Is that going to open...
A modern key on an antique door. It wasn't going to work.
Okay, Nico's put me in my place. Oh, we've got something here to pick up, so let's go and pick it up. Alright, there doesn't seem to be any quick
was a
walks.
tube
Like, you
of
can't
acrylic
double click and
paint.
have them
French
just morph or
ultramarine.
run across the screen, but
Just the colour I was
French
after for
by
my
French.
bathroom.
That's
I'm
what
sorry,
we like.
I have to go. Someone is...
Someone is stealing my paint. Wait, she didn't
Young
finish her
lady,
sentence.
what are you doing? Oh, this paint.
But I have to go. Someone
It's
is...
my favourite colour.
For God's sake, keep the damn
That's going to
stuff.
raise suspicions, isn't it?
Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that.
Imelda has talent. Well, she's got a future in reality TV, maybe. Anyway, let's see what we can
There
do
was
next.
no one I needed to phone. Not until I had solved this case.
Oops. I didn't actually mean to click on the phone.
Excuse
Anyway.
me, madame.
Yes?
Okay, so we can ask her about the objects. We can ask her about the people.
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
No,
We'll
you're
start
not.
with the husband.
You're a
Only
journalist.
polite.
Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
Oh,
we
and
shall
then we
see.
get a bit of a... She's still sore about that. Maybe it's just the rest
Why
of the
did
world
your
that gets
husband send
older.
for me?
Comment, I think.
What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
Okay,
No.
just deny it
Frankly,
all.
I preferred it that way.
All right,
How
let's...
did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Thierry Collard?
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Well, I think her father was not a woman. All right.
So, her husband took secret boat trips. Did she really need to see the ticket?
Well, maybe.
Would you like to see my favourite egg?
What a ridiculous question. Of course not.
Huh? Another time, I guess.
Another time.
You're upset, madame. Please take this.
That is the lace cloth from the table. What can you be thinking?
I'll just put it back in my pocket then.
Imelda might not have been so cool with me poking around if I'd shown her the key I'd found.
Okay.
The last thing she needed to talk about was paint.
Maybe it'll take her mind off things, you know.
Why would a man
So we'll talk
want
about
to
someone
kill
with a
her husband?
painted face
Pierre
instead.
had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start. This is quite a
Okay,
scoop for
we
you.
get it, we get it.
I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronise me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Oh, so we can say I'm a little devil, or I'm an angel.
Yes, that's why I do
We'll
this
go with
job.
that. Nico,
You
we
do,
know
it's your
from
name in print.
playing these
As
games
if
in the past,
my lips
she's
against the
a
byline, I just do the
good-natured
work.
soul.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family.
Okay.
Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife.
It was pretty much
That was
when you
my
look at the
role.
tapestry and so
He
on.
never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who
Never
killed
let
your
her
husband,
in.
then
She
you
lived on the
let me
streets,
do
the
the
poor
job,
lady.
not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Don't let the police do their job. let this evil journalist do it instead. I guess we'll have to stick with... Maybe she's like, I'm sadistic and I'll hunt down the killer.
Your husband invited me here today
Okay.
because he needed me. I think he knew somebody wanted to kill him, and he knew I could help.
I doubt it was your database he was after.
You're wrong. I was onto his killers already. I am sure of it. Please, you owe it to him.
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
You really do have a moral
Police are taking their
sense,
time,
don't you?
has to be said.
I trust
Seems
so
to be a
few
running
people. And
theme
perhaps
in these
Pierre
kind
really
of
did
games.
think that you could help. Of course it wouldn't have stopped him seducing you too. Here, take this.
Then why does
It's
she
the key
think
to the
we are
drawing
so
room next to the
easy?
library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
Oh, that sounds a bit dodgy.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this.
Okay, so she goes back to head in the hands. Okay, so we've got the key to the room at the end. 3. Oh, sorry, this is the room with the body, isn't it? Okay, let's just double check we haven't missed anything.
Pierre Cachon was stiff for the last time.
Oh dearie me, what kind of jokes are they making in this game? Okay,
I opened
let's
his
open
eyes.
his eyes.
Best to leave the crime scene as I found it.
Alright, we'll close his jacket as well then. Alright, let's go and unlock this door now that we've got the key.
Now we were getting somewhere.
Yes, we are. Getting into the study. Right, let's have a look around what we've got here. So we've got a nice sofa. Bit of a weird shape, but you know.
This wasn't the time for me to lie on the sofa doing my Marie Antoinette impression. Though it is very popular at parties, especially with gay guys. Don't ask me why.
Okay. I won't ask you why, Nico. Okay, fine. What have we got over here? Okay, we've got something on the table to look at. Little
As
drawer
expected,
investigation,
the desk
perhaps?
was yet another priceless antique. Yawn. The blotter and in tray had clearly been placed with mathematical precision.
Antique's very boring, of course. Okay, so what have we got here?
I didn't need a sheet of blotting paper.
Why is she taking steps
Not
towards
while
that
it was
when we're
blank.
looking right at it? Okay. Not while it was blank. Okay. I wonder if it's like there's something written on the paper and we're going to
I
find
didn't
out what
want
it
to
is.
take the tray, but I knew that I could use it.
I think painting the tray probably makes more sense.
I'd spread blue paint over the bottom of the tray. It was ruined. I was a
okay.
very bad girl, but also quite a clever one.
Isn't it? Like, for that kind of
I
thing
didn't
anyway.
want to take the tray, but I knew that I could use it. In a way, I was going back to art school.
Okay, so can we put the paper
I
in
didn't
there?
want to... In a way, I was...
No?
I didn't need a sheet of blotting
Okay.
paper. Not while it was blank. My heart
Maybe
skipped a beat.
Something to do with the
It was
elephant?
a carved elephant. But not just any carved elephant.
It was a
It had been
chocolate
made
elephant.
By my father.
Oh, okay.
I knew for certain because in my
Probably not
apartment I
chocolate,
had
then.
its exact twin, carved into a box he had made. So Cauchon had known my father.
Okay.
They really must have been friends. I decided to take the carved elephant. It clearly meant nothing to Imelda.
Yeah, but she'll never forget. Okay, so we need something else here. Maybe some water or something to mix into the paint. Another door. Let's see what we've got on the other side.
Locked.
Yeah.
Not surprising, really.
Locked, okay. Oh, okay, we've got something over here with this family picture. Portrait.
The
Whatever
painting
it is.
showed the Cauchons together, in love. As the poet said, the
What
past
about that
is a
picture
different
tells you that
country.
they're in
Or
love?
did I
I
read
don't
that in
know.
a fortune cookie?
Probably. Oh, okay, we've got
There was the very faintest of clicks.
a point and click. Oh.
Behind the picture was a safe.
Safe. Okay. The lock is
The
active.
safe was locked. I needed the key.
And I think we already have it. There we go. Oh, no. There we don't go. Let's try again. Oh, okay. Only got the yellow glow around it. That's the time. Alright. What are we going to get from here, I wonder?
There was a strange stone cylinder in the safe. In the safe was some kind of artifact.
Okay.
There were strange symbols on its surface. It looked like the printer's blocks I'd made at art school. If there was one
art
thing I'd learned about
school.
symbols,
She mentioned art
they
school.
are always important. But these symbols scratched
Okay.
into stone were impossible to read.
Yeah,
I
she
needed
mentioned
to find
art
a way
school.
of printing them. At
Okay,
least
there we
the
go.
stone was round. But what could I use for ink?
When we
And
squirted
what
the
could I
paint in the
print
tray,
on?
she
Sure,
said
I was
art
stealing,
school.
but I knew Imelda didn't
We need
know
to
about
print
the
it, so there we go.
And Carchon was past carrying.
Okay, and the police just will never suspect a thing. Okay, so that's what we need to do, I think. Back over here. I think then. So do we need to get that in the paint? Yep, nice, satisfying squelch.
I rolled the artifact in the paint until it was completely coated.
Okay, there we see.
An antique tray with paint spread all
Okay.
over it. Not a lot
Oh,
I
the
could
tray
do with
is an
that.
antique. I've never heard of an antique tray before. Okay, so we're going to roll this on the paper, I guess, yes. Okay, there we go. Wait, did she
Genius.
cover that in wet paint? And
The
then she,
roller and the
she
pen
just
worked
put
just
it
as
back
I
in her
planned.
pocket?
But what did it say?
She's going to have a hell of a dry cleaning bill at the end of this.
It was some kind of coded message. It read, "Sub judice." I may not have learned a lot as a journalist, but that was a term I knew well. It means a legal case that is before the courts.
Okay,
Below
thanks for
it
the
was
translation.
a sequence of letters that made no sense. I suddenly realized there was a connection between the boat ticket and the coded message.
Makes no sense to me
The
either.
boat ticket was stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie.
Okay.
The Conciergerie on the Ile de la Cité, by the river, housed the ancient law courts. So,
Okay.
sub judice could, in this case, mean literally under the law codes, below the
Well,
conciergerie.
thanks for solving all that
I
for
was
us,
pretty
Nico.
sure I'd
It saved
found all
us
I
trying
could
to
here.
figure
And
it out.
besides, all this opulence was making me pine for my regular life of poverty. This was a huge story. It was also one heck of a puzzle with a lot of pieces missing. But I was going to crack it. And if I could just remember the name of that fancy prize you get for being an ace journalist, I was definitely going to win it this time.
Ace Ventura prize, maybe? Okay, I don't know. Ace Frehley prize? Anyway, I think we're done. That sounded pretty final. I don't think there's anything else to look at around here. Maybe some parting words for Imelda before we leave. Just let her know, just took this ancient artifact and, wrecked some of your antiques.
Did you find
but,
anything useful?
It's all
This
on the level.
Do you know anything about it?
It was Pierre's. What does the statue have to do with...
Please, I need to know. He was
Oh,
given
she wants
it
to ask about
by
the
a
elephant.
friend.
Okay.
Something to do with Africa.
He never explained any more.
The elephant,
No.
something to do with
But
Africa.
I think it was important to him.
All right.
Always on display. Why?
It was carved by my father.
Oh, I see. I didn't know.
Imelda, I will do everything I can to find the killer.
Thank you, my dear.
Okay.
And if the police ask,
Don't worry. You were never here.
sub judice was the key.
With that,
I
I'm going
was
to
going to have to
obstruct
find
the
a
course
way
of
under the
justice
conciergerie.
to let this
I
journalist I
decided to
just
head
met
straight to
solve the
quayside
case.
on the Ile de la Cité. If there was a way of getting under the conciergerie, it would have to be from there.
All right. And an hour later, we are there.
Carchon wasn't the type for messing about on the river. He was up to something down here. Something that got him killed.
All right, and I think that's where we're going to leave this initial episode, this first part of the prologue. So next episode, we will play through the rest of the prologue, and then we'll get rolling with what fans will consider the real game when George gets involved. But I do hope you've enjoyed this beginning of the series. If you have, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Check out the links below. You'll find you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook page. You can join the Discord and so on. Discord will be a place where, you know, I'd love to get any more detailed feedback and tell you my ideas about this series and the other kind of retro games that we could possibly play in the future. Or you can leave those in the comments below. And don't forget, tell me what you think your Trump tweet would be about the most famous man in Europe getting murdered. But for now, I am Dodgee Gamer. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.